Everybody, Scoutcraft here again. Mishmash Monday. Hope you had a nice weekend. We're also in March. Great little month coming up, and we hopefully will have a few things planned. Real quick, not much of a rant, but a PSA to talk about is aftermarket parts. I do a little work on my vehicle. I don't try and do too much work, but as you get older, you do what you can, and to save a little money here and there. I like to do my own oil changes and stuff. But I just found out from watching another man's video that you got to be careful. I always buy OEM parts, or what I thought was OEM, which is a original equipment manufacturer, and a lot of these parts are bogus parts from China. Even though the box, you get a box that says like this, you think it says Toyota, it's got the label, it's even got the hologram on it. They're all bogus parts. Anything you buy on eBay, you got to be careful. The only ones you could really trust is if you go to the dealer itself and buy it from the dealer. Other than that, they say that like the majority of parts you buy on eBay, even though it says they're aftermarket. And this guy showed me on the video, and sure enough, he opened up the boxes. You could see the difference from the parts. And so be very careful if you're buying your parts on eBay like I was. And I know I got taken from some windshield wipers. I bought them thinking that they were original equipment from Japan. They weren't. They were from China. And they're expensive, so just keep an eye out for that. Okay, first off, let's start off with what I bought at the show last week. I think you'll get a kick out of it, so let's go check it out. Okay, on to see what we picked up. As you know, I picked up that little box for $2, but some of the expense. This is, I think, the most expensive thing I bought here was this Billings bicycle wrench. I paid $15. That's a lot of money. The thing is that it's in such terrific shape. Obviously it's got a little rust and stuff, but you go by the jaws and you go by the name. You could see the name, how pronounced it. So this is in a really good shape, and you don't find them like this too much. So I'll clean that up. I won't do a full. Pick this up. This was, how could you pass this up, right? Made in the USA, see? Like it's not obvious here. I always love these cast iron utility knives. I'll buy them all day long. Then you saw me pass by these, right? This one here is a little bit bent. Again, the steel on these weren't the best. There wasn't like chrome vanadium or something on these. And so they did get a little bent up and twisted. And these are tight now. How long they'll stay tight, I don't know. But they were two sizes that are kind of unusual. You don't see that they're thin and long. And this one's a nice little short one. So I picked these up. Obviously, you saw this here. If you saw, I picked up the, for those of you who haven't seen my video on these, are called nesting screwdrivers. And you open it up, okay? So you have one screwdriver here. You have another one here. When you open this one up, you have another one there. And then when you pull this out, you open this up, and you have a real small one there. So the nesting screwdrivers are always nice if you can get a quality one. This is a quality one. The good ones were made in either Germany or some of the United States, Pennsylvania. But you could tell because the knurling, and you could just see the difference in quality. And this is a good one, and it's not mangled. The tips are all good, so this was a nice little buy. Picked up this Wilton C-clamp here. And I don't think I have a Wilton, And this is, heavy duty forged, a real nice one. It's got a little off bend to it, but we'll fix that. But Wilton, and it's from Schuyler Park, Illinois. So I don't think I have a Wilton one, and the threads are a little bit different on here, you see? Kind of beefy. So I like that. Pick this up here. It's a Dunlop little alcohol torch. And I always want to try these in the alcohol version. I got the gasoline version. I don't like to mess with anything gasoline down here. But alcohol, I'll give it a shot because it's a small little torch and I can control alcohol. But I'd like to see if we can get this one working. That'd be a pretty interesting one. It looks like it's in nice shape. And then this was given to me. Chris gave me this. Chris happened to just find the show, believe it or not, find the channel. And like I said, he was the president of the club for many years, and great guy. And he saw this and he says, "You ever see one of these before?" And actually, we used to I did a couple of these. But these are harder to do than they look because the steel is so hard, and it's a fencing plier. And we'll talk about that. But this one here is made by Dunlop. Again, another Dunlop. I wonder if it's the same company as this. But he gave me this, and I thought that was real nice. And when you see the face is in good shape like that, you know it hasn't been used much. And this has a nice feel to it. These were terrific little tools if you don't have one. Then Dan had given me this lock that he picked up there, and this is the old-fashioned iron locks that they used to have. Picking it, I don't know. I tell you the truth, I'm going to try and pick this one. I don't know if I can or not. But I have some with the keys, and these open that the whole shackle pulls out. It's not, you know, like the regular ones that swivel over. The whole thing lifts up. These were heavy duty. I mean, they still are. And if I can get a key to show this, I will show you how it works. They're real interesting locks. I bought these swizzle sticks. I know what you're thinking. Like, what the heck? This red plastic, you know, this is that kind of red. This is a real nice plastic that they used to have back then. But the thing is that swizzle sticks are something that, you know, I remember my grandmother had a cup of them. And they were all assorted up in and I still got them up in the cupboard. And I remember there was some, you know, older ones in here and things like that. And, you know, I remember as a kid looking at them and figuring, I had no idea what they were. A lot of people still don't. They used to come in mixed drinks and things like that. And a lot of these older ones, you don't see too much anymore. Some of them become quite collectible. People do collect these because they're small items and stuff. But I don't know. I just wanted to grab these and throw them in that cup upstairs because it brings back memories of my grandmother. And some of these other, I don't know what this was for. This is from, it says Seagram's, you know, but it's a little railroad spike. But I always loved acetate and plastics ever since I was younger, especially, you know, some of the colorful ones. But I just bought these to throw upstairs. I don't know why. Just crazy, right? Okay, last up, I bought this item. Now, the first thing I saw, when I saw this, right, I saw it was laying on the table. Chris had on his $5 table. And I looked at the tip and I said, wow, look at this. It's like I'm thinking a screwdriver, a gear operated. This is so cool, right? And then, obviously, I looked at Dan. I said, Dan, did you say? He goes, yeah, it's a valve grinder. Dan knew right away what it was. I didn't know. And it even says it right on here, which is pretty funny. It says, it's a Simplicity, a valve grinder. Do you see that right there? Now, what this was, I looked it up since then, did a little bit of research. There was a little piece of metal on here that went to the side. I think this rested into the valve seat. And what you did was, when you turned it like this, it scraped the valve seat. And so I guess, you know, I'll never have any use for it for what it was designed for, but I just think that this is anything with gears, anything that has levers or gears or something, especially combined, it's pretty cool, right? I mean, there's got to be, I mean, we could make this into a screwdriver or whatever, but I don't want to ruin the tool itself, but I just thought it was pretty interesting, you know? I gave it a little drop of oil because, you know, they always squeak when they're, you know, dry or whatever, but isn't that nice? Isn't that a cool little thing? It's got nice line, nice castings, nice Japanning on it. There were people that do collect these valve things. I don't know, but I would like to see it used. I'd like to see how it is. So as you can see, I was pretty good. I didn't spend a lot of money. You know, I don't buy a lot of stuff now because I'm just, you know, I got to move and I get so much stuff. But what I want to do today is I want to just stop some of the rust on these tools before they, you know, whenever you get a tool and it's starting to rust, like that Billings bicycle wrench, just clean it up, you know, put a little coating of something on there, and then you could store it until you figure out what you want to do with it. So I'm going to do that with a couple of the tools, and let's see what we're going to do. Now you can see why I want to take care. You see the rust on here? This is why you want to take care of it before it gets any worse, you know. This way, you just wire brush it down, get rid of all the rust in here and around the whole tool. There's rust inside there, you could see. And we'll get in there with the tubular brushes, get it all, oil it, clean it up, and then this way I could, you know, it'll save and it won't rust anymore. Okay, now Billings had made thousands and thousands of these bicycle wrenches, and they were a big part of their manufacturing because they were so popular years ago. Now, you could see here, I just did it with the wire brush and a little bit of the fiber wheel to take off the paint and things like that. Now, you could see here there's some imperfections, not only from the rust, like up here you get a little pitting and stuff, but also you got some imperfections from from the manufacturing process, because this was like what I would call a B grade wrench. What they would do is they had their A grade and their B grade. The A grades they would polish, they would nickel plate them, and the other finish they had was the black finish. That was the least expensive. Now, if you knew, when they came off the production line, they would take a look at it and they'd say, okay, this one here's got a little bit of, you see here, a little bit here that, you know, might have missed. That's something from the, so they say, okay, we'll just make this a B grade, and then they'll paint it black, and you'll never see any of these little imperfections. But if you were going to nickel plate it, or you were going to polish it out, you had to have A grade. So what I usually do is, you know, because I hate pitting. You see, here it is. It's a beautiful wrench. It works great now. It's all lubricated. But, you know, you look at that and you say, the first thing our eyes are drawn to is the pitting. And you say, you know, that's the first thing I see. I can't live, you know, I can't do that. I can't live with it. Now you remember what the wrench did look like before we started to do a quick cleanup. Well, I guess this is my problem. I was just going to do a wire brushing and a lubrication on this, but now you can see, took out all those the pits that bother me. I can't live with that, you know. I mean, now this is like an A grade wrench compared to before, and everything's lubricated. All the rust is off, as you can see. The threads, it's so smooth. This is the way these wrenches were meant to be. And you know, it's important because whenever you take even a minute amount off with the belt sander or whatever, it's important these edges will become sharp. That's just the nature of the beast. You sharpen here, you sharpen, and this will become, so you have to soften all these edges so that the wrench feels like it should. You know, it should have that original, you know, that you just want to hold it and put it in your hand. These are such a nice little wrenches. But anyway, this one won't rust again anymore, so we'll put this back in the drawer. As you can see, my problem is the minute I come down here to do a quick project, I get sucked into doing all kinds of projects. Anyway, thanks very much for tuning in. I hope you have a nice day. Take care now. Bye-bye.